Okay, cool. So
So
I think it should be recorded now. Uh,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. So
what was you gonna say?
yeah, yeah. I was thinking of doing like a short recap of what we talked about because we
Yeah,
talked about a lot of like really valuable stuff.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
No, go for it. So I'm with my client Tanvir. Done some business coaching, and he's really passionate about um what he's pursuing in life. And we just had a little chat on Zoom before, and we're kind of recapping what we spoke about. I'm just remembering. Um, have you got an idea of like where we should start? Any?
yeah. So the business I'm setting up is a natural vision improvement, and I was talking to Phil about like one of the most valuable lessons I learned when it comes to the selling approach of this type of business I'm doing. Is just being honest. Because
Yeah.
for me, like I've been using the Bates method to improve my own eyesight, and I've gotten like really great results with it. And so, because I want to turn this into a business, because I want to help others get the same results, it doesn't always feel right. Like when I'm selling, because I'm always like it always comes across like I'm trying to convince them like why they should buy it,
Yeah,
and it has that a little bit of that sales energy. And one of the lessons, the main like biggest lesson I learned is just me being honest is a lot more powerful because I want to sell the end result like they fully regain their natural eyesight. But obviously, because I'm wearing glasses, then people are going to think, well, what's going on there? And the best way to address that is just like me being honest about my own experiences,
yeah.
about
I
like
totally
yeah,
agree.
about the results that I've gotten and how it's helped me. And that's always a lot more powerful. Like naturally, like there's like a reverse psychology to it in the sense that if you just talk about your own experiences and how it's helped you, people naturally want those type of results themselves, rather than if you're trying to like convince them of why they should buy like my coaching or anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. So basically, Tanvir has improved his own eyesight and clearly really passionate about his the correct vision habits, regaining um better vision, less blurry, and so on. So the proof is in your own coaching because you've got results yourself. And we were saying that if you're trying to convince people to buy, it comes across like there's something a bit off about this. It's like, why is this guy trying so hard to sell this thing and push this thing onto me? Whereas instead, if you're really honest and you just genuinely talk about your own experiences and benefits that you've got, and you genuinely focus on helping the other person out, then they get the feel that this is actually pretty cool and maybe I want to buy this, maybe I want to get these results. It's got a different energy to it. And also as well,
Yeah,
honesty is it communicates trust. And one of the biggest barriers to selling is people not trusting the person. Is it a scam? Is it too good to be true? All these different doubts in people's minds. And if you're just like, do you know what? Okay, I am still wearing glasses. I've not completely cured my eyesight, but my eyesight has actually improved. I've got a weaker prescription. I am still on that path, but I'm able to coach people because I have made progress and I can help you make similar progress. And you'll see me growing as a coach as well. It's really powerful. And they're like, I trust this guy. He's being real with me. Same
yeah,
with the ebook you was telling me about. You wrote an ebook basically, but you had a few questions whether to make it um, from the perspective of someone who has already totally cured the vision or someone that has made good progress and is still working on themselves.
yeah, 100%. And honesty is always the best approach to this. Like even there's a YouTube video that I made, and someone made a comment about, well, how come you're wearing glasses? And I responded that with really well because it's actually very easy for someone to lie when they're entering this type of business because you could just like not wear your glasses on when you're doing a video. You can wear contact lenses. You can do laser eye surgery. The contact lenses and the laser eye surgery are like two of the biggest ones because they sort of give the appearance that you have natural eyesight. but people won't actually know unless you actually talk to them and you actually told them, oh, actually I'm wearing contacts or done laser eye surgery. And it's only really, especially when it comes to the base method, because it's very heavily involved on strain. The only way you'll know for sure if they're telling the truth is if they actually share their experience of pain and strain. Because people who've got blurred vision, they're carrying strain, so they're in that chronic pain, they're feeling a lot of pain. So when they share those experiences that, okay, I'm feeling a lot of pain, then you know, okay, this person's legit. Whereas if someone who's just wearing contact lenses and surgery, they're not really talking about that
Yeah.
because and also like one of the biggest differences I've noticed with improving my own eyesight is with lenses, with contact lenses, surgery, glasses, you only get artificial sight, you don't get natural sight, and there's a massive difference between the two. So there's a big difference in terms of the experience and just like things I talked about, like the strain and all that. So from that perspective, you know, like, okay, this person's legit because when they talk about the base method, they're talking about this. They're not talking about like just like a quick result.
Yeah,
That it
you're
isn't
talking
that
about
like,
it's real experiences, shared experiences, and
yeah,
because you've lived that experience and you're feeling that experience, and someone else has, and you're being honest about it as well, they know it's like, yeah, we're in the same boat, we've been through the same thing. And it's the exact
mm,
same thing if I'm coaching somebody. If I'm coaching someone that's got social anxiety and we have a deep chat about social anxiety, they can tell that I used to have that. They can tell I'm
mm,
not bullshitting because it's like, wow, Phil's been through the same thing. We can connect on a deep level on that particular topic. Someone that's just trying to make a quick buck, they can't go deep. It's only surface level, and you can feel it. Like I remember when Tanvir did his first event, and I was watching it, and I could feel there was a good energy in the room. There was basically when people are honest about their pain and their suffering and their insecurities, it bonds them really, really strongly. And I could see that there was an experience going on. So if Tanvir was just a surface level guy trying to make a quick buck, he wouldn't be doing free events. He wouldn't be doing free tasters. And there wouldn't be that experience that people are having at the events. You can't fake those emotions unless you was some Oscar winning actor. It's impossible to do.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, like when I first started this, in the beginning, all I wanted was to improve my eyesight again. But the more I got into this, the more I understood the connection between poor health, strain, and blurred vision. So now, like I know, it's just the more I sort of like heal myself, and this connects with trauma as well that we talked about, healing trauma and releasing a lot of that strain. The more you do that, the healthier you become, and as a byproduct, your vision gets better. And for me, like the health aspect, that's what I connect more of because I'm over halfway through already. And once you like started going deep into this, you become like you only care about the health aspect. You sort of like lose sight of the. I mean, it's great improving your eyesight, but that's not even the best and most valuable result. The most valuable result is just the health aspect and feeling better. And then the eyesight is just like a natural byproduct of it.
It sounds like from what you're saying that improving the eyesight is the icing on the cake.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the overall transformation is the main thing, and obviously that's why
Mm,
you're passionate about it because okay, on the surface level, it's just about improving eyesight, which is massive in itself. But really, there's so much more going on, and
mm,
transformation is we're in the same business, me and Tanvir. It's the business of transformation, helping people change the way they see themselves, change the way they see the world, act differently, get different results. And in
yeah.
a way, that's why we get on because we have, even though the businesses are different, even whether it's social anxiety, whether it's natural vision improvement, clearly there's a lot of similarities in passion for helping other people out,
Mm,
doing things the honest way with good ethics. That there's helping people transform. There's so much overlap, which is pretty
mm,
cool. And I even
mm,
think it's interesting the fact that this is crazy, but when you try to recap something, because you're trying to recap something, it's not present in the moment. it doesn't quite come across as well as like the first time. Like before we had the recording on before, it was flowing differently. I felt the conversation. Like it's still good now, but before it was flowing so well. And when it's like, oh, let's hit the record button, let's do a recap, suddenly then it's a bit less natural. But I think it's
Mm,
becoming more natural, like right
mm,
now, partway into the video. But we're talking about social media as well. And it's interesting that if you're someone that's ever tried to like make a YouTube video, like me and Tanvir have, what's interesting is the fact that because it's just you in a room by yourself, it's hard to come across like you would come across in the flesh because you're not
mm,
having a conversation with a real person. So you come across like a robot. You come across the natural passion that you have isn't always conveyed when you're in front of a camera, but when you're actually with people at an event having a real conversation, you're so much more animated, and the natural passion is just there for everyone to see. And we were saying that the challenge with the YouTube is getting to the stage where you're as passionate as you are in person when you're just talking to a camera by yourself. And also, we were also talking about the fact that both of us, so we like social media. We obviously use it from a business perspective, but we're not big consumers of content because consuming lots of content on different platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, it can be very, very time consuming. It can lead to procrastination. It's addictive. It can sometimes give you that temporary dopamine spike, but not leave you in a better place than you was before you consume the content. And I was even doing a session yesterday with this with a long term client of mine, and we were saying that it was quite deep. Actually, we had this really deep chat over coffee, and people say phrases like "you are what you eat," but we were saying "you are what you think." And I think that applies here. If you're consuming negative content or just entertaining content, it doesn't necessarily improve your life. But if you're tuning into the right content and you're following your purpose, that's so much more powerful.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, just to add to that as well, also because when we did the first recording, it's just you and me having a conversation.
Yeah,
Now that we've done like a recording, in my mind, I'm also like, there's a third party involved in this conversation as well,
I
but
can
they're not
feel
actually
it. Yeah,
physically, they're
yeah.
not physically there. So we're
You,
sort of like making a lot of assumptions as well.
you're right. Even on a very, very logical level, because the first time when we were chatting on Zoom, you weren't actually recording. We were making eye contact, and then the second time at the start, I could tell you was like talking to a different person, which is true.
Yeah,
You're talking to other people in the video, but all these little factors that they kind of they change the dynamics, don't they?
yeah, yeah,
Which is
yeah,
interesting.
100%.
But
And
really, what was you going to say? Sorry.
oh yeah, so I was actually gonna bring the conversation to like one of the YouTube videos I made about transformation, because like with my business, I guess in the forefront, I'm selling like natural vision improvement, but really what it is transformation. So in like one of the videos I'm quite proud of is the Clark Kent to Superman transformation,
Yeah.
because that's what like that's how I sort of resonated and experienced it myself. In the sense that I noticed that when people who wear like a lot of glasses a lot, they tend to be more introverted and like shy and have that nerdy archetype. And most people generally like understand this. Like it's just like a natural observation that they see.
Hmm.
Like they see the certain trends, like in shows like The Big Bang Theory, like Leonard, even like one of the Marvel movies, like you have the Hulk, who's like really strong. And then when he has like that professor, he's like wearing glasses all of a sudden. It's like there's certain things like and even like Superman, when he wears Clark Kent, he's not quite as confident. So it really like sells it across. Like when he takes the glasses off, he's changing who he is, becoming more confident, and it's like almost like a different type of person.
I
And I
totally agree.
felt, yeah, and I felt that transformation like in improving my own eyesight,
Hmm.
because I really wanted to like be like an athlete, but I was very disconnected with my own body. Like I couldn't really, because the blur that you're experiencing in your like in your sight is a reflection of the relationship you have with the whole entire world. with that blur, you're never gonna feel true like confidence in yourself.
Mm,
And this is actually one of the reasons why like your work and our work is sort of like connected in a lot of
yeah.
ways because you're like a confidence coach, and that connects a lot with what I'm doing with natural vision improvement.
100%. And actually, a few things came to mind when you was talking about that, like Clark Kent to Superman transformation. And even just like my thoughts looking back at, say, high school and college, and even just watching films, you've got the kind of the nerdy person that wears glasses, and that's the person that studies hard, reads a lot. That's the stereotype you've got in your mind. But then the stereotype of a typical jock would be someone that takes loads of action, lifts weights in the gym, is really, really good at sport. And really these different stereotypes, they have a massive impact because society just pumps this message that this is a jock, this is a nerd. I'm exaggerating, but the point is that if a message gets repeated so many times, it becomes so strong, this voice, that you can take it on as reality. And that's a very, very, very dangerous thing when you take on an opinion, an external opinion, and you believe it, and you start to change the way you act, because you feel differently about yourself. And actually, there's a quote that comes from a motivational speaker called Les Brown that comes to mind right now. I was actually able to use this in a session yesterday. And the quote is, don't let someone else's opinion of you become reality. And it's true for society as well. If society has these mainstream views and these stereotypes, and it pushes them all the time, you're seeing it in films, you're seeing it in all kinds of places. You can start to buy into it as reality and change the way you live your life. But really, whether it's me, whether it's Tanvir, in a way, we've escaped that matrix. And really, that's what connecting to your true purpose in life is about. It's about finding who you are, finding what you want to do in life, and just fearlessly pursuing that. And I would say, like, because you've connected to your purpose, I mean, on quite a deep level, as you're going for it with the business stuff, I bet you're a lot happier now than before you connected to your purpose.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's well, the feeling that I get is because I got so much value from improving my own eyesight. It's beyond just improving eyesight, but because I got so much value from it, from the transformation, like the world needs to know about this. Like this isn't something that, like basically, if my business isn't successful, the world, the quality of the world goes down because people won't know about this. Like they'll still be wearing glasses. They won't know that you can actually improve your eyesight. That's why it's like really important that the world knows about this because it's very like underground. Like most mainstream people, they don't really think that it's possible. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but of course, like with my experiences, I know it's possible. So I want to just basically like spread the message.
100%. So really, like, what you're doing is you're helping people get the proof that it's possible, so they believe it's possible. And the way you do that is through coaching people, educating people, whether it's someone you've met through social media, someone at an event in person. You're getting them that concrete proof that, holy crap, like my eyesight is actually better now than it used to be. You know, in the past I couldn't read this sign from this distance away, but now I can. Right? If people have
Mhm.
made tangible progress and they can see that progress, then it's undoubtable. It's the
Mm.
exact same thing with my coaching. So, I coach a bunch of different clients, whether it's a man or a woman with social anxiety in different contexts. And often, say if it's a guy who hasn't had a girlfriend before, he has this belief that he can get a date. It's impossible to get a date. And I know that he can get a date, but he needs to believe it before it actually happens. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. If you don't believe you can do it, you can't do it. So whatever you believe becomes reality. And my job as a coach is to take people out, make sure they take action and do things in the right way. So they start to get some results through. Then when they start to get the results through, it really shatters that self doubt because Now they realize I can actually achieve this goal. It's not beyond me. Then they believe it and they achieve it. So it's very, very similar with what Tanvir is doing. And if Tanvir doesn't mind, I mean, when is it okay for me to say why you first came to me as a coach?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool. So basically, Tanvir, um, so he saw my meetup page and we had a nice chat on the phone, and he said that he's a workaholic, so in that he's super super hard working, but he hadn't been on a date before. He just not really given much attention to that area of life, and so we started off just doing some relationship coaching. But then Tanvir was so much more passionate about the business stuff that we said, let's just focus on the business stuff. Since I built a business last year, it's something that's fresh in my mind and I'm passionate about it. And actually, during the sessions, if Tanvir sees a girl that he really, really likes, he goes and has a conversation. And you've got a potential date coming up this month, a mini golf date, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was we did actually talk about mini golf, but like something new came up where it's like a clay making thing. So I
Okay.
changed it actually to that.
Have you ever seen the film Ghost?
Ghost. I haven't actually
Patrick
no.
Swayze. No, there's a scene where there's some yeah, pottery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's quite funny. And actually, I remember that session. So me and Tanvir were having a really, really honest, free-flowing chat about business stuff. And because I'm passionate about what I do, and Tanvir's passionate about what he does, there was a girl that was just so interested in our conversation. She kept looking over and smiling. And then Tanvir was like, we could see it was undeniable that this girl was giving Tanvir a positive, a nice, friendly smile, a friendly look. And Tanvir was like, I'm going to start a conversation with this girl. Had a really, really nice chat. And you spoke about your business. I think you had the business cards with you as well. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And what this shows is that if you're if you're really passionate and really into what you're doing and you're talking about things that mean a lot to you, you're connected to your purpose. There's a power there, and it attracts people in because we're having an honest conversation. People are interested, and in the same way, this is how you sell. When you're having an honest conversation with somebody and they're getting value, they have that experience. Like, wow, like I now actually feel more confident. I'm more hopeful now. I'm more optimistic. I feel less anxious. You get them into a really, really good place. They can feel the value in the same way that I know Tanvir's coached a bunch of people, and they've really enjoyed it. Even a guy, Joseph, I sometimes get
Yeah,
his name wrong, and Tanvir did a free session with this guy that he met at an event called Joseph, and Joseph was like, "This is too good to be free." Really, really enjoying it, and Joseph paid Tanvir after the session because he felt it would have been wrong of him just to accept this for free because there was too much value there. And I know that a girl at the event, who I actually also know from some of my events, she basically went away and tried some of Tanvir's stuff, and she basically said, "Holy crap! Like it actually works. Like this is kind of cool. Like I'm experiencing improvements." And a lot of people, me included, would never have associated trauma with blurry vision.
mm,
Now, this is news to many, many people, and really, trauma can run a lot of people's lives. And transformation is about overcoming traumas and collecting the proof that even if you've got an inner demon or voice of self doubt that says you can't do something, you can also build up the other voice, the confident voice that says, I can do that thing. So even if you couldn't get rid of the trauma, which you can overcome a lot of traumas, but even if you couldn't do, and the inner voice was always there, planting seeds of self doubt, you can always build up the voice that counters the voice of anxiety and makes you feel empowered.
mm, yeah. Um, yeah, another thing I want to talk about is like this is just something I've learned recently that like one of the motivations I had in doing this as like a business
Mhm.
is that I felt it was actually kind of evil knowing that there were so many other vision coaches out there that were doing this type of work but weren't making a good living out of it, which to me kind of screamed out that they weren't selling, they were targeting the wrong market. They were
Mhm.
marketing their services to those that couldn't appreciate the value that they were giving
Yeah.
because it's life changing. You're with most of a lot of these vision coaches, they fully regain their eyesight, and so they actually know from their own experience how valuable it is because they used to wear glasses before, and now they're selling a lot of their services to those that don't fully appreciate the value of it.
Yeah.
So they're charging a lot lower because they feel like, oh well, no one will actually pay for my services, which kind of just proves that they're marketing themselves to the wrong types of people. And
Yeah.
for me, like it's just doing that just feels so wrong. That's why I want to like that's why I'm like passionate about the business aspect of it.
Mhm.
That people need to like this is changing people's lives. This isn't just like some
Yeah.
more like something trivial. This is like life changing.
100%. And actually, what Tanvir is doing right now is similar to what I'm doing. So we both have the ability to help out lots of people with our coaching, and we're spreading the message. We're getting our names out there on a bigger level, and we're really growing that impact we're having. Because if you're able to help people out, people need to know about that. So many people that could get huge benefits from my coaching, from Tanvir's coaching. And actually, that's why we do events. Currently, I know Tanvir's got at least one, maybe several events coming up in Birmingham. You have an event coming up this month, don't you? Actually,
Yeah,
you was
on
telling me before
Sunday.
on Sunday. Is it the last
Yeah, it's what
one?
I think it's the 22nd of October.
Okay, so it's literally this Sunday coming up.
Yeah,
Cool. And so Tanvir's specialism, your niche, is people with nearsightedness. And
yeah.
what is it you're going to be talking about and doing in the seminar?
Yeah, so the seminar is actually mostly for those who they just need the education aspect. So they want to know. So this is for someone who's nearsightedness and doesn't know anything about it. So because I'm going to be talking about the Bates method and how I've used it to get results and like how to get started. So it's largely like informative and
Mhm.
educational. But what I also want to start doing because the seminar is like originally sort of a plan to like I'm selling to like a bigger audience, but I feel like there's a lot of value in doing like just smaller groups, like maybe like in a coffee shop, because it's more personal. Because the biggest value that I feel I can give is just sharing my experiences and how it's helped me. And what's
Yeah.
going to be really valuable with the meetup group itself is me like educating others on how to get results and them sharing their experiences and how it's helped them. And that's how we're
I
gonna
like it.
really just spread the message of it.
And really, that so many things come to mind right now. So, as simple as it sounds, a lot of it is about the power of honest conversations. And what's crazy is that if you do an in-person event and you chat to people, you can make a massive impact as a coach, and you can get clients that you can really help out on a big level. But it takes so much longer, say on social media, to achieve the same thing. And I used to think, why is this? Why is it, it's fast to get clients through networking and in person, but it's much slower on social media. And I realized that because social media, it actually breaks down conversations. And what I mean by that is, you as a coach, a teacher, you say something, then on a separate time point, someone else listens to that information. And then obviously they can't reply because the way social media works is that apart from comments, you put a video, they consume the content. And imagine if real conversations were like that. You said some words and then, 3 hours later, the other person heard the words and said nothing back. It's a massive interrupter to conversations which are meant to flow both ways, a two-way street. And that's the power in attending events because now you get to have conversations with people from both perspectives. If you're a business person marketing your services or someone that wants to be helped out and wants to grow in an area. And we were chatting before, actually, before we started to record, about the idea of doing Zoom events, free Zoom events, because so many people out there, say people that are following Tanvir's social media, they're not going to be based in Birmingham, but they want to meet you, speak to you, get to know about your stuff. And there's no reason why both me and Tanvir can't do free Zoom events to help people out in our particular niche, connect with the target market. And it could be really interesting to see the kinds of people that are there and understand better how to help people out. Because a lot of the journey as a coach is learning how to help people out and getting better and better and better at this all the time. And it's not black and white. Everyone's different. There's no one size fits all approach. Even if someone's got the same problem, whether it's blurry eyesight and nearsightedness, whether it's someone with social anxiety, even though the process is similar, you still have to tailor it to the person. And you can't reach everybody with the same message, or you can't say something in the same way and expect to reach every single person, because everyone's different. And that's the power of having conversations, is that you're really connecting with individuals, which is so different than just speaking generically. There's so much more power there.
Yeah. I think I made that mistake during my first meetup at the exchange, where on the meetup I marketed myself as natural vision improvement. But the people that came were from many like there were people who had nearsightedness, farsightedness, they've done laser eye
Cataracts.
surgery,
Yeah.
cataracts, eye diseases. And I can't really necessarily help everyone because I don't have experience in all of it. I only have experience with nearsightedness. And that's where I sort of learned that there's a lot of power in me sharing my own story, because that's where the value in my coaching comes from. Like the people that are going to benefit most from my coaching are going to be those have nearsightedness,
Mm-hmm.
who wear glasses, because then they'll resonate more with my message,
Yeah.
and my story. Whereas even though the method, it's based off of the Bates method, and Dr. Bates did say that his techniques and methods work for everyone, like even if you got farsightedness or cataracts and stuff like that. But I don't have experience with that, so I don't feel confident talking about that. Even if it may be scientifically proven, like can't confidently talk on that subject.
Yeah.
That I know that I know there are other vision coaches. Like I was in a call I think last month, where a vision coach, she actually talked about how she's helped someone who who's farsightedness. So this is, if you're it's like farsightedness is for those who called presbyopia. For those, it's largely age related, and she actually sort of proved that even if you're old age, you can still improve your eyesight. That it isn't just age related. So she's more confident, like talking about on that aspect because she's got experience.
Yeah.
But I'm more confident on like the nearsightedness because like
That's your
that's my experience.
yeah. I totally agree. And what kind of person can you help out the most? Someone that's like a younger version of yourself, because you know yourself
Yeah.
better than you know someone else. But then I would say, in my experience, every truth is a half truth. I'm really, I say there's two sides to that. So one, I focus on helping people out that I relate to, because I know there's more power there. But like Tanvir said, I can tell my story and give them the courage to tell their story and really own their own experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But then, to contradict myself, on the flip side, sometimes you have to focus on what works for other people. And there's times where I've coached people that are very, very different than me, great people, but different than me. Maybe I've coached a few people that have autism over the past year, and I've had to tailor my approach to the individual. But they're telling me how to help them out. They're saying that I've got a problem with this, and I can tell that they need experience in that area. So I still share my story, but I know that I need to really try to help out that person and get out of my own ego, get out of my way, and I realized that their experiences might be a bit different than mine. So I have to really try and have that extra level of empathy, put myself in their shoes, and do my best to help them solve that problem. But it's more complicated, and of course, it's very, very, very powerful to talk from personal experience because it's factual, isn't it? You know this works because you've done it yourself, and that's where the confidence comes from. You've repetitively proven to yourself that this thing works. Therefore, you're confident in sharing it with other people and helping them out. And when you're seeing other people get results, that makes you even more confident. And it's like you've got this positive feedback loop that just keeps going around.
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, so how are we doing for time? Like,
So I have a timer thing on mine, and basically it's just over 3 minutes left before the meeting time runs out.
okay, so we've done it pretty much perfectly, I think.
I think so, and yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that we've missed out that would be cool to add. I guess something that I can add, which is true for me and true for Tanvir as well. So, of course, Meetup is a great platform to market your services and run events. And as entrepreneurs that use Meetup, we actually do pay to use Meetup. So we're actually being super kind putting on all these free events. I mean, I've done 20 events for free so far. And I was telling Tanvir that sometimes you do need to get better at monetizing things because realistically, you are spending quite a bit of money each month putting events on. For me, I've got 3 groups, so I spend £90 a month putting events on. And what other people do is one-off joining fees for groups, and I think that's completely fair. If people pay, say, £10 to join your group, and then the events were free, for example, I think that's pretty fair because maybe they pay £10 a year, for example. I've seen other groups do that, and that would actually comfortably cover your meetup costs. And then because you're being paid and you can take care of your bills, it actually frees up your focus and means that you can really help that person out. And this is something that this is my experience of the coaching. So because I love what I do, it feels like I've won the lottery, me pursuing my purpose in life. And I'm sure it's the same for Tanvir. When you're being paid to do what you love, it's a massive compliment. It's like, fantastic, this person is taking care of my bills so I can dedicate my full-time attention to helping this person out. So it's a really a nice positive experience where as a coach you're so happy that the person has paid you because you're like, great, what a massive compliment. Now I can focus on helping this guy out, helping this girl out. So actually I think that if you charged a one-off joining fee for your meetup group, say £10, it would make you happier and more confident. You'd turn up to the events and you'd feel that you're being reimbursed and you can actually give more of your energy, and it just creates a nice exchange. And I think £10 for a whole year of events, I mean, what an absolute bargain.
Yeah, 100%.
And that was just
Yeah.
an idea because so Tanvir has made a sale already with his business, but I'm really wanting to get it fully off the ground so that you can do it on a full-time basis rather than having to do part-time jobs to supplement the income. And this is the transition of part-time to full-time in business, which of course it takes time, hard work, and I know you're putting in a lot of hours with the business stuff.